right, we're going to do a Cali episode here, and it's an interesting one because we're coming off of a little trip. You can see that we're certainly not in our home grounds or training grounds or where we live. We're over in the hills in Buffalo County on the second leg of a shed trip, and we actually are going to make an episode. I don't know if it'll be prior to this one or not. It's sequenced wise from a series episode, but we've been on a 4 or 5 days. We went to Iowa shed hunting. We came here shed hunting, and we're going to be finishing up and going back today. But what's really been beneficial for her is shed hunting has a lot of similarities to what we do with an upland dog. So her struggles, let's call them struggles, with range and the ability to get out a little bit in the uplands, we got more practice going shed hunting than we've had ever. So, and probably better realistic conditions than what we can replicate in training at our place, and diverse locations. Like we saw, Iowa is a very different topography, and everything about it is different. Buffalo County is very different. So Ben and I were talking before we go home, which we're going to be heading back today. We wanted to get some training in here because I absolutely love training here. It's one of my favorite places to train for lots of different reasons, and it's a big change from what we're used to. So we strategized what we're going to do. So we have these training workshops where people bring their dogs. We hold one here. It's called the Next Steps Workshop. It's a little bit, it's beyond our foundation. People go to the foundation workshop, then they sign up to take this one. And when we do the Next Steps Workshop, it's very similar to what we're doing this morning. We drove up into this valley. We looked at it. I envisioned a few things, and I said, I think we could do a retrieve like this, this, and this, and I think the value is we're trying to get this, this, and this. So we literally strategize our training on the go. Today, what I want to do is two things. Use this opportunity to, again, lengthen Cali out. We did it the other day at our place where we went from one end of a 40-acre piece, from one end of a 40 to another, so a quarter mile, and made long trailing memories. Relatively simple, used easy lines, pushed through some cover. Today, for us to look at across this valley or up into that valley, that's longer than that quarter mile distance. But look at the change in elevation. Look at the difference in the terrain that we're going to cover, from hayfields to cornfields. We got wood and we got brush piles and pockets of woods, and sometimes even the slightest little change in elevation, the littlest hump, can throw a dog off, and that can be for a variety of reasons. They might see a shadow. It's like, I always say, it's like reading a green. When you send a dog across terrain like this, if I want him to land there and I send it, because of that angle of the way the slope of the hill goes, a lot of times the dog will have a tendency to fade and be pulled and sucked down to the bottom. So if I want a dog to go there and the hill is like this, I might line the dog over 15, 20 degrees, knowing that it's going to suck the dog in. That's all dependent on how the dog handles and runs lines, and that you only get that through experience and understanding what your dog has the tendencies to do. And so this is the first time we've had her here. She's been shed hunting she's been with us shed hunting, and we'll talk more about this in some podcasts, but the difference between the upland dog and the shed dog. She's been with us. She's put on miles, lots of miles, but we're going to use this opportunity to do some of our training and transition it to here. The other thing we're going to do is, I want to see, because she's been working with a group of dogs. I've got Hutch and Millie, which are Wyatt's dogs. They've been with us the last several days as well. My other 3 dogs have been with us. I left them back in the kennel, but she quartered beautifully. She got out and ranged, I would say, really nice, wouldn't you? I mean, I would not have said I got an issue with a dog that won't get out, which is what the issue has been up to this point. Now, it's a combination of things. I think it's a combination of us preparing her for it. I think it's a combination of putting her right in that situation for an extended period of time and letting her develop a little more confidence and a little bit better understanding of what the objective is. It's not necessarily to be right here, it's to be out there looking. I don't know that she knew what she was looking for, but that's because we were looking for antlers, but we did get into some areas, and I don't want to go off in the weeds on it, but we'll talk about the similarities in some of that hunting stuff. But I want to use these big open valleys. I'm gonna see if I can't get her to work out at a distance like we used to do at our house where we were struggling so much. I want to see if I want to test it and see if we've come far enough for her to start having that habit and understanding that it's okay to act in that quartering and casting manner. So, and if she does, I may pitch some dummies, stop her to the whistle, let her make some retrieves. Exact same drills we were doing before, it's just we're doing them now after a lot of practice of taking the A to Z that didn't work, breaking it down into A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and piecing it all back together now to see, are we getting closer to being able to do that? Because then once we can do that, we can do other stuff. But in order to get there, we had to break it down and make it more micro to link them all together. So we're going to start here. So Ben, is one of the things that we're going to do here is we're going to film it differently. We've only got one camera. Ben is running it. He's going to use a different lens, which is going to allow him to zoom a little bit better and be able to stay stationary. Because this is such a big area, we want to be able to show you, I think, show it to you a little bit differently. So he's going to, we're going to have, here's my setup is going to be, I'm going to drop a dummy here in this brush pile. This is going to serve as a point for the dog to come back and hunt, but it's not going to be the visual dummy that they're going to see. They're going to see the pile of brush. So they're going to have to get it. She's going to have to get in the brush and hunt, find it. She'll have to use her nose. We're going to set one up here and let her watch that. Then we're going to make really what we're doing is a big giant circle memories. We're going to make an arc up to there, up on the tree line. We won't go up into the tree line because this one I want the dummy to be visual. So I'll probably use a white dummy and I'll set it in the field so that it visually stands out. So I'm going to have one dummy, two dummies. I'm going to circle back down, and I think what I'm going to do is get down into the valley where the washout is. I'm going to line her to that dummy and tell her no, and then I'm going to send her down the valley, which the valley is going to help. I'm going to use that funnel to help her resist going up to that one and hunt down the valley to the brush, make a pick, and come back. Now, it's going to be long. Like, I'm going to be way up there, at least a quarter mile. So then what we'll do is she'll come back. To be efficient, steps-wise, I'll pitch a dummy behind me, probably in the waterway, so it's down in the bottom of a valley, and then we'll start up the hill. And so I'll send her from the valley for the first one. I'll go across and send her down. I'll know her off of that one, send her across and up. So we're going to go down a hill, back up a hill, and there's elevation changes all throughout there, and have her make that retrieve. Then I'll pitch a dummy there, and then I'll come back down here, and then I might send from over here is what I'm thinking, knowing her off of that one and probably have it where she can see it, and sending her for that one. And the thing is as you see the elevation change, she won't be able to see over that hill. So she'll have to trust me to go up and over and make that pick and come back. And I'll probably, so this is not an easy setup, especially for a dog that's never done this before, but we'll see how she does. And if she doesn't handle it very well, then I'd shrink it up and I'd maybe come to the crest of that hill so she could see it and send her. But then she can come there, I'd pitch a dummy, come back here, send her across, or mix it up. Maybe we send one of Hutch's or one of Wyatt's dogs on a retrieve. Something is what we might mix it up towards the end. But then I want to get that quartering and casting where we'll run some of these drills that are more traditional, controlled lining, memory stuff, and then we'll get her and release her and give her a little bit of reward for working out beyond me. Still get retrieves, still get the good stuff out of it, but it's at a totally different behavior that gets it for you. It's not lining up and being steady and calm and quiet. It's, I got out and I got to make a retrieve and I got some excitement that way. So it's an extreme on one end and the other. The reason I want to do these more traditional stuff with the memories is because this environment is different. I wouldn't probably be spending my time on this at my house where it's relatively small and she's done it before and that kind of stuff. This will be a challenge for her. It's an extension of what she has been able to do in a smaller area. Now we're opening it up into a bigger arena. So let's get that set up. It'll take a little while to set these up because it's just an added scale of distance, and that's okay because you're going to look at this, and we talked about this in the past when I go and do some training. You know, my dog might, I'm going to take this off, all right? My dog might, I don't even have my training bag, I'm using Wyatt's, but my dogs might end up making very few retrieves in a 45-minute session. So, mind if I adjust this? So it's just something that, you know, the setups add value to the scenario, to the whole situation. So we got a dummy launcher too. I guess we could fire a dummy. Maybe we will do that. I'll bring it with. You got caps in here? So, okay. So we're gonna start out. Ben's gonna switch his camera. We're gonna dump a dummy. This is my plan going into it. Dump a dummy, send, dump a dummy, send, dump a dummy, send, and kind of work this wheel around through all these different elevation changes. Heel. Okay. Okay. Now I'm standing here and I'm going to set this first dummy, and it's hard to appreciate the different elevations and the challenges that this will actually be, I think, because as I duck my head down, just this little crest of a hill from the valley will actually cover this up. So, but I'm going to go with, these are pheasant wings, feathered dummy. We're going to go up and into that cover so that she actually will have to hunt that one out. I let her hit. She's right here watching, and she comes to full attention. She's real excited about that. Wind is going up the valley, so Wyatt and I were just saying it's gonna be real good to send a dog on the nose one into the wind. But she sits here and you can just see her forehead right now just flexing because she's almost shaking with excitement. She's going, man, this is just great. So I like the idea of her interest in this, but I also like her willingness to be patient and understand it's not necessarily always action, action, action. That's the beauty of these setups that take so long. Heel. So we'll let her, she had plenty of time to sit and look at that brush pile, hopefully burn it into her mind, the idea that I got to run to there, there's one in it. But it's going to be a long run for her. And I won't sacrifice patience with heel. Like, let's get good heel work. It's cool, we're sitting here and we just hear there's grouse drumming all around this valley. It's a cool time of year for this. Your dad's a good caretaker of the land. Heel. I'm gonna go with a big white dummy here. Think this will stand? Probably, huh? I'm gonna set it on a dark spot, I think. In hopes that it stands out a little bit. Heel. So she obviously just went for the wrong one. You can see Jeremy's trying to know her off of it right now. Off of the second dummy he dropped. He's trying to line her for the ones in this brush pile that we dropped first. And it looks like she's not quite taking the line or remembering it. So he's going to know her off it again.
Line her back for this brush pile, which is right behind me here. You can see her head, she doesn't remember it. So he's gonna walk towards it. She might not be able to see the brush pile because there's a dip, there's a hill here, which might be part of the issue. You can see her head's just all over the place. Yeah. There. Really taking it hard. Good dog. Just gotta go deeper in. Good girl. You can see that's probably 200 to 300 yards. It's far. So now, he's gonna pitch a dummy. Keep going up this side of this bluff here.
See, I don't think she'll remember that dummy. Maybe, but I don't, after this fresh one, I don't think she will. So it's straight across. She's looking back at that one.
Where she was.
She just looked back at that one. I'm gonna be real dramatic with this. No heel. How many? Oh my God, more than 200. There's no way that's 200 yards.
Profiles.
Watch. Nope. No heel. Cali, Cali, go back. No! Heel. 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 Come on. Come on. Cali, go back. Go back. Out. Get out. Get out. Go back. Get out. Get out. Get out. Good. Good. Get out. Get out. No, 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 no. Good. Heel. 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 Come. 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 Good girl. Go. Good girl. Good girl. Come. Come. Good girl. Cali, go back. Get out. Get out. Good. 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 Go back. Go back. Good. Go back. Good. Go back. Good. Get out. Get out. No. Out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Good. Come on. Good. Go back. Good. Go back. Good girl. Good dog. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good. Good. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Good. see her shut down after I said no? Come on, heel. Good. Good. Good dog. Good. Heel. Good. Watch. Cali, go back. Nice straight line. Wrong way. Didn't suck at all. She's gonna get hung up behind that hill, I think. Get out. Good. Oh. A lot of it. Good girl. Good dog. Good. Good dog. That's a good girl. Good girl. Good. Did. Good girl. Good girl. Good. That's plenty. Good plenty. Want to leave it down here for him? Watch. Here. So there's a few things there that, you know, I don't have an issue with any of it. Am I close enough or far enough away? Good. I really don't have a problem with any of it because we were testing there to see how things went in a real different environment. A couple things that I take away from it are knowing off of that second dummy and sending to the first is hard for her. She gets this last dummy in the mind, and so those are simple things that we can work on. I don't know that I know we haven't worked on it a lot with her. I don't know how much it was worked on with her prior to having her come to us. But I think she's really good when you put a simple idea of a simple memory, she'll remember it pretty well. When you start adding 2, 3, 2 even, especially 3, there's no way we would have been able to do, I think, 3. The last one in her mind is way too strong. So we're going to work on, it's a mental note that I say, we're going to work on more stuff like this where there's multiple dummies. Knowing off of the last dummy needs to be better. That didn't click with her that strong to say leave that and go to the next. So we'll work on that. I thought it was real promising when she ran the ditch with her head swinging to the left the whole time. She just really wanted to go to get that one, but she held the course. I couldn't see her once she got over the hill, so she had to crest a hill to unknown area. And I think once she saw it, she probably started to click to the idea of running to that cover. She hunted that cover for quite a while.
She went right to the cover, but then she hunted and hunted and hunted.
So we couldn't see any of that, and so I don't know how. You know, that's a point where you really have to trust the dog. She stayed in the cover, she didn't give up, she found it, she came back. So that was real good, but then that was when I recognized, boy, the second dummy is going to be a difficult distraction in her mind. We put that one out, we went to this one, she completely had forgotten about that one, there was no question. That's why I came down all the way to the hill, and actually I think where she wanted to go was to the first spot, because that was the last spot she found a dummy. So going down to the center, taking away 50% of, well, there was a distraction over there that she left pretty well. this one became stronger. So like there's a third, a third, a third as far as directions where I want her to go. This third became too powerful. So I eliminated it by coming equal to it and just sending her. I thought she did much better at that. She saw a object that wasn't the dummy, coincidentally another white thing short of it. So once she hit that, I was happy she went to it, but then she, I think, started to second guess. Am I where he wants me to be? She went back, but then she started to go to the right, and I stopped her and tried going left with her. She wouldn't take that cast. She went to the right. She thought right, right, right. I think the second or third time I knowed her. No, and you could see immediately she turned, faced me, and sat down. And then she was stuck. Because it's this idea with her is if she's not doing it right, I know she doesn't understand it. I have some dogs that I'd have been stronger with to get them off that sit and get them to the left. I'd have picked up my tone. I'd have been a little firmer. I'd have pushed them through it. Not with her. That would shut her down. Understanding that she doesn't know what I want was the key there. So I actually warmed her up a little bit, recalled her to me, got her to move a little bit, stopped her and sent her. And what happened was I timed my good a couple times there with her body language of putting her nose up. I think now the wind is hitting us now it's hitting me in the face. So before it was going up this way, now it's hitting me in the face. Well, up there, I could see when she smelled the dummy. She either smelled the dummy or she smelled where we had been. That could have been a combination of both. But either way, her nose was going to bring her in the right direction. And that's when I was on it with good, and let her go. Let her work to it. And the reason I tried to hurry up the hill, didn't quite get there, but was let's let her make the retrieve all the way back. We had to cut the send in half, but let's let the retrieve come back all the way. So she starts to get this idea of, boy, this is the path I should have took. It's really where we started outlining. But that's okay. I don't have a problem with it. It's definitely stuff we can work on. But then the third one I thought was really interesting because I thought she would remember it. You couldn't really see it very well from where we were, but I thought our line looked like it was perfect because it was going to suck her down to the valley. And I sent her, and instead of going with the slope, she went left of it, kind of fought the slope, and literally went on a straight line. Now, back to the idea of when we do a lot of this training early on, what do we use? We use a lot of straight edges. I think possibly she had the idea of run the straight edge. And instead of just getting sucked into the valley, she saw that I think the trees held her up. And she took the line, and my God, she went off over the hill, and I said, now I'm going to lose her. I think she's going to get lost, and I'm going to have to catch her when she pops back up over the hill. She didn't. She went down the valley, and she just kept going. And she actually got out to the right distance where I was able to stop her. She took a nice cast. She was a little deeper. She saw another thing out there that she thought was it. I tried stopping her 2 or 3 times short of that dummy, hoping to recall her and have her get a hunt whistle. She, I think, saw the dummy, did not respond to the stop whistle, which is can be a little bit upsetting. At that point, I'm not making a deal of it. We're getting the dummy back, and I said, that's enough. Like, we're not gonna do any more. She's tired. That's a lot. It said 200 yards on base map, but I think it's 200 yards straight across maybe. It's 220. So it's further than that, and it's a real challenging, obviously, elevation. So I know because I ran that and I went, I'm tired. So that's it. Now we pitched a dummy because I want her to have a chance, heel, to just sit and watch. And we're gonna send this dog, one of these dogs, back on a memory, make that pick. You saw I picked up that leg bone that was right next to it. Coincidentally, it was right there. I picked that up thinking, these dogs are trained for picking sheds. Are they gonna get confused with the idea of pick the bone? I don't want that. I picked it up, I brought it down, I threw it in. It serves as a little distraction to know off of because there's another mark in there potentially. So we're gonna not pick that. We're gonna go back up and get that dummy. And for Cali, it's a good chance for her to just watch. Sit.
Let's wait.
He's doing what I did. I took several steps towards it, get them in the right direction to get started.
And I don't know that he was looking over there, but I don't know if I need to know her off of it, but I probably wouldn't hurt. No. No. Go on. No. Great whistle. No. Edit this.
Well, I think it's...
No. Here. Millie, come. Millie.
Yeah, I'd go get her, because I would end this real quick so that she understands not the object.
Come. Here. Come on. No, here. Millie, come on. Come on.
I think you got to go to the right even further. Like I think we're... I don't think you can see the dummy. It's to the right, isn't it?
The left of that stump.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Right?
Yeah, I think in there maybe.
You see that little rub?
Yeah. To the right of it.
It's in between that and that dark stump to the right.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Go on, go on, go on. Good, good. Go on. Go on. Good. Good. Go on. You can tell we're on the 4th day of a...
Yeah, they're pretty gassed.
Good. With the wind up there, I'm going to let her hump out. Good. Good. Go on. Good girl. Good. Come on. Good. Melt that bone. Come on. Good girl. Come on. Come on. Good. Oh. Good. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Here. Here. Hold. Hold. Help. Hold. Hold.
And for her, I think that's a real good just sit and watch. And I do agree that after 4 days of shed hunting with these guys, it's not a real challenge right now to have them be the steadiest in the world because they're exhausted. I think they've put on a lot of miles. I mean it's great conditioning for them, but it's towards the tail end of a lot of miles.
Probably less excited about running up that hill to pick up a bumper.
Totally.
Going in there to pick up a bumper.
Right. So that's a good chance for me to have a first lesson with her out here. It's eye-opening to see things come up because I can't do this at my house. I can't run a drill like this at my house. I probably don't have the right setup big enough that I could expose some of this. I certainly don't have the elevation changes, but I find it real promising. I think she's just got so much talent, so much skill. It's challenging her, exposing it, building towards whatever the problem was, fixing it, and then testing again and building towards it. So I think it's just this constant process of it. You've heard me talk about it a million times. So I'm gonna quarter. I'm pushing it, but I got a chance to do it and I want to do it. So I'm gonna quarter her a little bit and see if I can't get her to work out by herself. She's dead dog tired, and I'm gonna see if I can get her to move out away from me. Especially now with the challenges, we just asked her to be in this type of a drill, which created this pocket dog again. The ability, the situation called for her to be right by my side. A lot of like teamwork with it. Now I'm gonna say go out. I'm gonna see how she does because we've been going out a lot, but she's not been going out by herself. So, Ben, what's the best way for me to do it? That way? Walk away from you? You just spin around? Okay, one thing we were just talking about, Ben was switching lenses, but wind is just, this is another, I would say it's a challenge. It's also just something that has to be, you have to be conscious of. When we set up here, wind was coming up the valley. We thought, great, we're gonna blow the scent up. Now we're standing here 35 minutes later, wind's coming down the valley. So it's a constant shift, and it's because of the hills, and it's because of all the different thermals, and there's lots of different reasons why the wind swirls. But if you're a trainer here, if I'm training here regularly, which we will be in a few weeks, it's something that you really have to pay attention to, and then understand and be open to the idea of it's going to affect your dog. So like, I don't care how upset, I don't care how, you can't get upset when the dog starts to work a certain direction because of the wind. Like, you have to recognize it and then handle them differently. It's like reading a green. Not only do you have the, if you're a golfer, you'll get it. Not only do you have the contours to adjust to, but now you look at the dog's tool as a nose, so of the nose. So you gotta be conscious of that as well. So we're gonna go up. We're gonna work into the wind, and see how this goes, and then that'll be it. I'm not gonna do this very long. I want to see if I can't get her to work out a little bit. Picture a dummy, reward her for it, and say, let's go home. It's been a long trip. So all right, let's go. Go ahead. I'm just gonna act like I'm going shed hunting like we have been. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. There's an old memory. She's got an old memory of a bird up there. Let's go, come on. All right, let's go, good girl. Let's go. Good. Get out. Good dog. Nice enthusiasm. Come on. That's a good dog. Come on. Good dog. Leave that one. Good. There's a good girl. Good girl. Very nice. Okay. Sit. Pick this one up. I'm done. All I wanted her to do is get out like she was and working independently, and let her reward it with a retrieve and be done with it. And there's a challenge. There's something that we've been working on, pitching dummies up over the top and not having the temptation to go. Again, it's a lot easier when she's beat tired. But that's it. That's good. Got what I needed out of that. We've seen that, and we could have walked this whole valley. I don't need to. I'm tired. She's tired. But that's it. I think it's a great lesson. It's a great extra chance to train. The new environment is real valuable. If you're enjoying these videos, I'm going to ask you, like the YouTube channel, and turn the notifications on. I know it's a silly thing for me to ask, but I've had a couple people say, you should do that, you should do, and I know other people do it too. So I don't like asking favors, but if you're enjoying this series, if you like the series that we're doing, please do that favor. Do Wonderboy the favor. Subscribe to the channel and then turn the notifications on. But I'm real excited with this week. It's been a chance for us to take some real nice steps, and it's because we put ourselves in position to literally just go hunting. You're going to see that in another episode from a shed hunting standpoint, but she's put on, I think Hutch has worn a GPS collar on the trip, and we did 30 miles in 2 days. Hutch did 30 miles in 2 days in Iowa. We did 23 miles yesterday here on the farm, and then we did, I don't know, we probably did 5 miles so far today. So you add that all up, you're talking 58 to plus miles that these dogs put on in 4 days, and she did not have a bad she did not have an issue of being in the pocket. And I do think that that's a light bulb moment. These are opportunities for light bulb moments. I think the group work helped. Working the multiple dogs together helped. And so we went real extreme with it. We didn't ask her. I healed her probably, I did balance it a bit. I healed her maybe a handful of times, 3 or 4 times over the 4 days, where I'd heal her by me for about 5 to 10 minutes. She was dead tired. There was really no reason for her to be out working. I'd heal her for me, and then I let her back out. Because I wanted to have that separation, that on, that off, that on, that off, as far as heal, range. And so that was real extreme. Today we went more extreme in a session, and we've already hunted. I mean, we put 5 miles of hunting in. So building an extra session is really not, we did it because of the timing that we were here. Normally we're probably not going to do 5 miles of work and then go do a training session following immediately right after it. Hard on her mentally, challenging for her mentally, but good for her. So that's it. That's a good session. Come here. They will sleep good again tonight.